All right, I've had many guys from overseas in the Middle East and island countries, even South America, tell me that variable displacement compressors have been very hard to diagnose for them, and I've been asked about the different equipment. So here's one generic piece of equipment. It gets rebranded with different names on it, and usually this brand is the same machine and it'll say Four Seasons on it. But this has just a generic label on it, and I got it on eBay, and it was, I don't know, like $70 cheaper, just because it didn't have a brand name on it, like Murray or some big brand name, Four Seasons or something like that. So it's basically a white boxed version of the exact same thing without the brand name on it. So right now I'm going to ohm check. Now this is an oddball one. I really don't like this design. Here's your valve, your solenoid valve right there, and as you can see, it is two wires, but when you go to the pigtail, there's only one wire, and they actually ran to the ground the second wire. That's kind of a jackass design. But let's take see my red wire right there. So I'm going to run my red wire to red wire. This doesn't always work. You got to follow the manufacturer's recommendations, but I'm only checking ohms. I'm not putting power to it. So I just need conduction. Sorry guys, I can't get my one finger in here while I'm trying to do this. So I am going to put you guys in a bad location here and try to do this. I don't even know if you see anything. Do you see anything? Yeah, I could get my hands there. Okay. So with my old eyes, I could barely even see that little pin there. And I'm doing this half-assed. I'm just grounding it out on a piece of metal right there, touching the prawn, wiggling it a little bit. I'm coming over here. Let's see, can you see that? Okay, this button says ohm checker. See where it says 22 ohms? So that's the resistance, and then this is the driver. I don't hear nothing or feel anything. Oh, I got a little buzz. Yeah, there we go. Nothing under 51%. As I approach 60%, I'm getting something. All right, so this, now it's 11 ohms. Remember before, so the first time I checked this, so this must have an intermittent on the valve. So before I turned on the camera, when I checked this before, it had 37 ohms. Then another time when I checked it, it has like 24. Then I think for the video, it was 22 or something. Then I used it and drove it through, and it was down to 11 ohms. So the windings inside the valve here definitely have a problem, because sometimes it has high ohms, sometimes it has low ohms, high resistance, low resistance. So there's definitely something going on in the middle there. Then I'm going to take you guys, sorry about that, give you motion sickness. Opening this one up, when the technician took this on, I asked him, did any oil come out? And he says no oil came out. So we look at this one, and here's the high side discharge right here. Here's the low side. And you see oil residue in there, but I had this upside down, and it was upside down overnight, and absolutely no oil came out of the compressor at all whatsoever, not even one drop. And where there's the high side discharge port. So the port comes into a large piston dome area that's acting like a muffler. That's the high pressure discharge. Let's see if we can focus. Come on, Apple, focus. Okay, so this little disc right there that doesn't want to focus is the high pressure blow off. So if it hits like 440 psi through that little hole, then it will release refrigerant. And what else can I show you on this? I don't know if I'm going to go through a teardown on this, but as you can see, this is when you go back and forth, you can feel the second clutch in there that this outer plate is riveted to. There's a little play, and that's about it. So, oh, and the reason why there's no oil in here, this was operated by the customer till it ran all the way out of refrigerant. So all that time while the compressor was spinning, it was shooting oil with the refrigerant out of the compressor, but the oil was not returning. It loads up inside the evaporator. So I told him, I go, what about the oil on the new compressor? He checked it, he drained it. Here we go, right here. This was the sticker on it. And this is the oil that came out of the brand new compressor. And this would be basically the whole factory fill, and you always have to read the instructions, what came with it. It came from a German source. The whole factory fill, which is roughly 4 ounces, so maybe 3.5 ounces of refrigerant oil, came out of the brand new compressor. So if they would have put all this oil in the old one and there was no oil in this one, you would have just doubled the amount of oil in the system and you would have too much oil. Anything else I could go over? Okay, that's it. I still have this problem one. This was the one that had the leaky front shaft seal and would not hold vacuum, and I had to put some refrigerant on it, start the car, rotate the compressor, recover the refrigerant out, and then when I put on the vacuum pump, it worked. All right, see you guys.